In this podcast episode, Mel Robbins shares a heartfelt conversation focused on reconnecting with yourself through reflection and anticipation. She invites listeners to pause and reassess their year so far by answering two powerful questions that enable personal reset, recognizing what they are proud of achieving and identifying something they genuinely look forward to in the coming months. Throughout the episode, Mel interweaves lessons from her recent grueling 3-month tour, the science behind anticipation and habit, and practical encouragement to cultivate joy and presence in everyday life. Mel begins by opening up about her experience on a demanding 3-month international tour, performing live shows for nearly 100,000 people across multiple countries. Despite anticipating stress and exhaustion, she learned to manage her emotions, sleep, nutrition, and physical health meticulously. This planning allowed her to stay present, calm, and optimistic even amid chaos and logistical challenges. Mel is especially proud that during this intense period, she stayed grounded and didn't snap at others, except for two rare moments caused by exhaustion and hunger. She shares how this conscious management of stress transformed her experience from overwhelming to one filled with memorable joy and presence. A critical insight Mel shares is the distinction between what life throws at us and how we choose to respond. Citing challenges faced by close friends with serious health diagnoses and the many unavoidable external stressors everyone encounters, she underscores the control we have over our internal reactions. Mel's therapist advised her to prioritize self-care to avoid missing out on the transformative experiences of the tour due to stress. This piece of wisdom resonates deeply. While we can't control circumstances, we can control how we show up. Mel encourages listeners to let the external events happen, and then choose their response consciously. Mel urges listeners to look back on their year and identify things they are genuinely proud of, emphasizing that it doesn't have to be monumental achievements. Whether it's continuing to care for loved ones, starting therapy, maintaining financial responsibility, or overcoming personal hardships, every small success counts. She shares a story about a listener who forgot their significant accomplishment of getting into a PhD program simply because of being caught up in daily busyness. This reminder to give yourself credit helps to break the cycle of focusing solely on what hasn't been done, and instead celebrates the progress and resilience already demonstrated. To lighten the mood and keep the connection genuine, Mel shares humorous anecdotes from the tour. One involves a team member coping with a fear of flying by donning a shark onesie to scare off sharks in a plane crash scenario. Another involves their videographer, who had to carry 3 heavy hardcover Harry Potter books plus a nightgown for his pregnant wife to comply with strict luggage weight rules in Australia and New Zealand. These stories highlight how embracing humor and flexibility can ease stress and foster camaraderie amid challenging situations. One of the most anticipated moments of the tour, an elaborate confetti explosion celebration, did not go as planned during the biggest show in Sydney. Instead of a grand spectacle, the confetti fell just a little and made more of a silent fart sound. Mel could have been upset, but instead, she chose to accept the mishap with grace and humor. She explains how clinging to disappointment robs you of enjoying the overall success and joy of the event, reinforcing the importance of managing stress and perspective to savor life's moments fully. Mel offers listeners a glimpse into the exhausting daily grind of a touring show, comparing it to musicians' schedules that often stretch across 100 to 200 days in a year. From early morning load-ins, tech rehearsals, meet and greets, to performing in front of thousands, each day was packed and physically demanding. This behind-the-scenes insight helps listeners appreciate the amount of work required to pull off such productions and further illustrates how Mel's focus on self-care was crucial to her endurance and enjoyment. One deeply touching story from the tour took place in Vancouver, where a drag queen performer named Melodrama, who impersonated Mel, rallied the crowd to support a woman battling cancer. In a spontaneous and emotional moment, thousands of strangers united to cheer her on and grant her birthday wish for healing. Mel shares this to illustrate the profound power of community, empathy, and shared energy that is possible when we show up openly and authentically. Mel explains the neuroscience concept known as habituation, where the brain becomes desensitized to repeated daily experiences, good or bad, causing life to feel flat or monotonous. She introduces the work of Dr. Tali Sharot, a neuroscientist who shows that anticipation and novelty are key to re-engaging the brain's reward system. Having something exciting or different to look forward to physically activates the brain and boosts mood, motivation, and well-being. This scientific insight anchors Mel's invitation to create plans and joys on the calendar. Building on this research, Mel stresses the vital role of planning future experiences that bring joy. It could be anything from a big trip, a wedding, a simple day hike, or reconnecting with old hobbies that made you feel alive. She candidly shares her own excitement about an upcoming camping and whitewater rafting trip with family, an adventure in planning for years, and her clever strategy to revitalize her connection to nature through this challenging experience. Mel encourages listeners to revive old passions or create new ones as antidotes to autopilot living. Mel recounts a past hiking trip where she accidentally forgot her boots and had to buy brand new, stiff boots last minute. Instead of succumbing to negativity and doubt, she consciously chose to believe the boots would carry her through the hike without pain, and they did. This story illustrates the power of mindset and self-talk in shaping outcomes. Mel encourages listeners to adopt empowering narratives about events they dread or feel anxious about, enabling them to face challenges with optimism and resilience. Ultimately, Mel expresses a desire to deepen her connection with her audience through more personal communication, including her twice-weekly newsletter. She also announces exciting upcoming events such as Let Them Night at Fenway Park, where she will throw the opening pitch, inviting listeners to join for a fun night of community and celebration. This invitation aligns with her message of carving out joy and shared experiences to reset energy and happiness. Mel closes by emphasizing that regardless of how difficult or overwhelming the year has been, you can always hit a reset button by reflecting on what you are proud of and committing to something you look forward to. These actions activate the resilience that already exists within, and by shifting perspective in this way, you can transform how you experience the rest of the year. Giving yourself credit and cultivating anticipation are simple yet profound tools to reclaim energy, fun, and happiness in daily life.